We are all set to go. First up, returning once again for year 2, please welcome Jordan Robinson. Come on up, Jordan. All right, are you feeling a lot more comfortable this second time around?
Yeah, first 2 weeks back to back. This is like staged, this is planned. You guys got something in the books for me or something,
No, not yet. You got to earn it. Got to earn it.
All silence. I see what it is.
It's all business tonight. We'll see what Ash has for you on the wheel for your Club 1080 topics. Contestants will once again have 2 minutes for our semifinal rounds tonight. 2 minutes. And here is your topic, Jordan. Fan behavior at sporting events. Fan behavior at sporting events. 2 minutes on the clock, and they're all yours.
Fan behavior at sporting events. Oftentimes what I find in sporting events, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this, is that it's almost an excuse for idiots to behave in the most unexcusable way. And that seems to always be the case. You get a few drinks in you, you start yelling, and you start feeling the energy of what's going on, and all of a sudden, if some guy comes up wearing the opposite color of you, you feel like you can retaliate as if we are in modern day Crips and Bloods. How does that even work? Who is even going to condone that? I mean, seriously, you get all these certain types of substances in you, you eat a whole bunch of grease before the game, nothing but salt, sodium, grease, saturated fat, alcohol, combined it all up there with ignorant behavior, and sooner or later, you're swinging at somebody based on how far somebody moved the ball in one direction. I mean, it's almost like it's the one haven where we can condone gladiator behavior in the stands, but yet when it comes to the product that's on the field, we want to limit how they hit each other, how they try to look at each other, how they talk to each other, how they talk to the officials. But yet people can go and curse, and it's almost come to the point to where you don't even want to take your kid there, because heaven forbid that he ever ends up like one of those guys until he sees you do the same thing when your team makes it to that same exact event. So it's absolutely awful in some ways, and the fact that Seattle Seahawks fans now have to deal with police in the stands, as well as, dressed up in terms of if they're just sitting there as if they're spectators too. But maybe, just maybe, you could find that Seattle Seahawks police guy, and he really likes the Seahawks and thinks he's a part of the 12th man, and then he decks somebody because they're in the opposite color jersey as well. That's what I got.
Well done, Jordan. Jordan Robinson, everyone. Let's get a quick thought from your coach there. Suk?
You're solid, but what do I tell you every single week, right? Personality. You got to bring it out. Like I've always heard, like they do this like in wrestling. I'll use a Wilcox thing. If you're walking around at a 6, your wrestling persona needs to be at a 10. Crank it up a little bit. It's supposed to be fun. That's a fun topic. You can get your point across by being fun. If you're talking about like the dad and the son, I learned it by watching you, Dad, or I got to deal with Officer Poncherelli up in the stands. You can spruce some of that up. Personality, you're solid. Like you don't have a lot of flaws in your game. You're just a good, solid guy. But the question is, are you a good, solid backup, or are you a star? We know you can be a good, solid backup. I have no doubt about that. Can you be a star? Can you be my starter? You got to let your personality out, man. You got to let it shine. It's my only complaint. But structurally, you're good.
All right, there's from Suk. Let's start with our judges. Jeff Austin, Jordan playing a little safe here?
Yeah, a little bit, but, I thought that he hit the key topics, which was, well, first of all, he brought a cultural reference with how alcohol equals instant ability to act like you're in the gladiator ring, Crips versus Bloods as well, cultural reference, which was, I thought, a good image to bring up, because really that's what it is a lot of the time. If you've ever been to a Raiders 49ers game, that's exactly what's going on. Or how about the Dodgers, that incident with the fan who got clocked and has never been the same. So I think that's a relevant way of looking at the topic. Smooth as usual as far as the delivery. Topic was developed well. I agree. I think just maybe a little more on the personality meter. That's it. I mean, you don't have, like you said, no flaws in the game.
Dusty, what you think of Jordan?
I think that your personality, I wrote down in my notes, so much more relaxed from a year ago, because last year you were far more rigid, and you're showing it more and more that you do have that personality that we see when we're off the mic and we're talking. But to Sook's point, just take it up a notch. That it's not what you're saying, it's how you're saying it. Just take it up a notch and you'll be just fine. I thought for not having very much time to think about it, I think you nailed everything that we're kind of looking for in a fan behavior topic. So I think you did a great job.
Keith, you think Jordan's got what it takes to make it to the next round?
I think he does. It's interesting to hear Sook give that feedback because it's almost identical to what he told me in this exact position last year. You know, consistently being solid, having those formatics, you've got all the tools. And like these guys are saying, really listen to that and just turn it up a notch. If that was Jordan Robinson, now get Jordan Robinson fired up and give me that same exact pitch, but now be on fire and passionate about it, and this thing's done.
There you go, Jordan Robinson off to a solid start. Well done. Thanks again.